This is a video on how to dry sand very deep scratches that we refer to as random isolated scratches. And this is a example of one. So that is a scratch that if we put a buffer on it, even if we buff very hard with a heavy cut pad and a rotary machine, we still would not be able to take that down. So this requires sanding, and that's what Audier is going to demonstrate for us.
We're going to start by asking Audier, how do we determine if we can even remove these scratches, and how much are we going to sand on these scratches?
So we have a spray sealant that we can spray on top, and you spray it generously, and if the scratch disappears, then it's most likely you can sand it down. But if it's still there, sanding it will still leave it, but it will improve the scratch. So there's two scratches here. This deeper one that's still there, and then this one that came along here disappeared. I got the 12. This is the orange paper. It's the 1200. I just put it right at the edge, to where there's still a little bit hanging at the top. Okay. Because I do like to go. This is the panel. I go at this angle. If I go like this, this whole pad is on the paint, and you don't need that. You just need the tip, so you can be more precise with that. Okay. And then I fold these over at the top and just put my finger on top. Okay. Since we saw this one didn't quite disappear, I am going to hit this one with the K1200 first, and then come back with the K1500. And so what you want to do is sand perpendicular of the scratch. So this is, it's not exactly horizontal, but it's going down like this. So your motion should be perpendicular to the scratch. So I'll start out, I'll go a little below it to start out, and I'll do a couple strokes, and then I'll see where my sanding is. I can change it if I need to. If it's too wide, I can get closer to it, but I think this is perfect. It's not too far up and not too far down. And it's just, you have to get practice at it, because sometimes, I don't know what happens. Sometimes your hand might slip and you'll get a little wider somewhere, but that doesn't mean you have to make the rest wider. You can just get it even, and then that's fine. So I'll do sections at a time here. And I brought this towel. It's our microfiber towel, just because I don't want to use our paint towels and get sanding or any of that on the towel. And as you can see, the line is still there, and you're gonna see it there. It's not gonna disappear. As you can see, I'm wiping the scratch and also wiping this piece, because you will have build up on this. Yes. I'm going up and down, but moving to the left just a little, just to come back and hit it one last time. So now I'm getting the K1500. I'm checking my sandpaper. Keeping a little piece at the top. And my pressure, I'm not drilling, Very
light?
Yes, I mean, it's just about taking the top, what's on top, and sand it down. I will say, probably with the finer one, you can go a little wider, just to if more coarse. Yes. So if you go a little wider to help it just even that up. So that's that for sanding, and then next would be to buff it out with this air tool. It's got a pad on it. It's a wool pad, so it's our heaviest cut pad. So the compounds I got is 800 and 1500. The 800 is our heaviest cut compound, 1500 follows it. But I like to use these together.
He likes to use them together because one cuts chemically and one cuts mechanically.
So for this amount, I don't need a whole lot. I'll start off with this. And the way I'm gonna approach this is I'm not gonna try to buff this whole thing out at one time. I'll do like a little bit here, because sometimes if you do kind of just like the normal polishing, if you do too big of an area, it might not cut all the same. So I like to dab it on first so it doesn't sling everywhere. And as I'm gonna approach it at an angle because it's more pinpoint to that scratch. And one thing I like to remember Ivan LaCroix's like 5-second rule or something. It's like 5 pounds of pressure for 5 seconds, and I double check it. And then I look at it in the light to see if there's any light sanding still. It looks pretty good.
Looks very good.
Especially with this color too, it's very forgiving. Add a little bit more.
So there's two aspects of paint correction or improving on scratches: the aesthetics and the performance. And so we never want to sacrifice performance for the sake of aesthetics, meaning we don't want to make it look so beautiful. We've taken the scratch down and then there's only a little bit of clear, a few more hand washes, a few more machine washes that the customer bring in there, and the clear is gone. We don't ever want to go down that path. So the key is to set expectations with the customers. And just like Adier said, don't just start sanding every single scratch on a card. Take it, one scratch at a time, and be very conservative.
These would still need to get a final polish because with a DA, because this wool pad introduces smaller swirls. The wool introduces smaller scratches. This is going to introduce even smaller to get those out, and then the final polish.
So nice to have you. So Adier already demonstrated how to remove a random isolated scratch, and that scratch over there was deep. So if you were to look at this scratch, what would you think? Is this really bad? I have some lacquer thinner with some rags with gloves on, and I'm cleaning it to see. Yes, it did remove some of the transfer mark. So it looked a lot worse than what it was. Now here is very deep, as you can see. We used to use wax and grease remover instead of paint sealant. It's a lot cheaper. So if you have wax and grease remover or paint solvent, you can do it the same way to test the scratch. As I'm doing is I'm removing what you see, what's called paint transfer, and it doesn't look as bad right now just from cleaning it.
Oh, okay. So a lot of that was just paint transfer.
Correct. But you can see that it's very deep right here. So that's it.